So this will be super fast. Long story short, it drives me nuts that there's not really any good information on socks out there that last a long time, are super comfortable. And I'm gonna do a quick down and dirty video, nothing special, not a whole lot of fluff or editing. Just gonna talk about these socks real quick, tell you about the background of the Under Armour versus how long I've had some of these Wigwams going and why I like what I like. Okay, here's a quick video about socks. Could be as boring as snot, got it. But if you're one of the people like me, I like socks that are comfortable and comfortable for a long period of time. That being said, I used to be a diehard go-to these Under Armour. These pair were purchased in 2012. These group were purchased in 2013. After these, they had a series that had a gray toe and a gray heel. Those things wore out way faster than the other ones. The amount of time I've had these sounds ridiculous. I have run thousands of miles and bicycled thousands and thousands of miles in these socks. They held up amazing. My next venture, when I was starting to wear out of these socks and didn't have enough to make a 2-week trip on the road without basically having to do a load of laundry, is I was in Buffalo. They have a Made in America store, and they had these almost all black Wigwams. What I loved about them was they had the really nice ankle cut. What I don't love about them after owning them for a little bit is they're getting a little bit thin already. In comparison to other Wigwams that I've had. I'll talk about that in a second. And they gather all kinds of lints and things like that. That being said, the oldest set of socks that I've got are these Wigwam Ingenious hiking socks. I bought these while I was at a survival school in Spokane, Washington. And it was spur of the moment. I don't typically do that, but I got there and it had turned significantly colder than expected and was snowing, and I was like, okay. I went and bought 3 pair of these. I have worn them plenty every single winter, and they are still going and wearing almost like iron. The heel's definitely the thinnest part, but again, we're talking 1990s, and they are still rocking. After having that, I did buy these Wigwams. Now, these particular ones pick up lint and won't release it way more than many of the other ones. But I gotta tell you, other than the fact that they stretched out in comparison, they are much more comfortable around my calf than these are, but they stretched out and stay stretched out. Other than that, still awesome, comfortable, warm socks. So this year, I actually literally in the past week bought these 2 pairs, well, sets. I bought 3 sets of these and 3 sets of these. These are their like workforce boot sock. It is not wool. It is pretty comfortable. I'll report back as what I think as far as the wear and tear. If you're anything like me, you're just looking for something that's good quality, it lasts a long time, and doesn't get, shot and torn up. I don't mind paying extra money for my socks. Obviously, I mean, these, I want to say that I paid something along the lines of, in the 90s, 20 bucks a pair. Today, an equivalent of them is closer to 30 bucks a pair. These, I definitely got them on sale, but I still think I paid 24 bucks a pair for these. These were not bad. It was a 4-pack, or a 4-pair pack, so an 8-pack, and I paid about 15 bucks for these, and that, let's see, I left there in 2019. I probably bought these in 2018, and it's now 2022, almost the very end of 2022, so they have held up well. Not nearly as well as these, though. Those have definitely rocked out. These, I hate this cut. It did not look like that online when I was purchasing them. You can see this awkward lower in the back, higher in the front. I've got a pair on I'm going to show you. I much prefer the way they did these. they're much lower on the foot in the front, and they have this high tab in the back. That way it doesn't work its way down over your heel when you're in the middle of running and essentially fall off, or what happens is when it's harsh like that, sometimes it wears on the back of my sneakers. I try and change those out about every 500 miles, but I have had the backs of sneakers wear out in as little as 300 miles from bad socks. So back to these, here's what they look like on a foot. You'll see what I'm talking about. It is definitely way higher up here than it needs to be. Like there's just all this excess material that I essentially pushed down, and there is not a lot of extra material here whatsoever. It is barely over the hump of my heel, but they are so unbelievably squishy comfortable. I'm not a huge guy about all these companies throwing their huge brand names all over the socks. These weren't as bad, but again, do I need to see these stripes? Wigwam, if you're listening, I don't need to see stupid stripes to tell me you've used a different material, if that's what the case is, or if you think that's going to gain or garner some sort of extra wear, abrasion, or stretch. I don't know, but I know this much. I definitely don't dig all the excess colors. I loved when they came out with these after these. They were a little bit dimmer. I liked that. The bright ones, not as much, but boy, I still can't talk about this enough. These have worn great. This pair is just about on its way out, so I have them on top intentionally. You can see right through that. I literally think I've got one run left in that pair, and then I have to ditch them. The rest of them are nowhere near as bad, and have been holding up amazing. As far as the ones that I just opened right before doing this, I was like, you know what? Nobody ever has any good information on these things. I figured, okay, I'll go ahead and do this. So it is 86% cotton, 13 polyester, 1% spandex. All right, that should have been enough. If you want something more, let me know. Throw a comment in. I don't mind whatsoever. I'll go back and make a quick reply, as quick as this was. I didn't take a huge amount of time. I've done videos in the past that I've spent hours and hours on editing and getting it to be just right, some sort of script. This is me just talking about some socks really quick that I thought were super duper comfortable. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things over the course of the next bunch of weeks. I'm going to talk about bike parts, tons of bike parts, tons of primal bicycle clothing. I bought a boat ton this year of those, tried all kinds of different stuff out. I'm going to tell you about how some fit and what I like about them, what I don't like about them, anything else like that. So if there's something you want to know about that you know I have, or you think I may have, just let me know. I'm happy to make videos or whatever.